Hey, what's going on? This is Ill Factor from beatacademy.com. In this video, I'm going to share some music production tips while recreating Snowfall by One Heart. I found this tune as I was scrolling through Instagram and realized that this sound has gone viral and so many people are using it. And I figured, why not recreate it and share those tips with you? So I'm going to play you my version and then I'll walk you through every step of the process. So let's dive right in. Before we get started, I want to give you the heads up. I have a free gift for you for watching this video. Just click the link below or visit beatacademy.com/pack to download a bunch of resources that I have for you absolutely free, as well as a VST plugin instrument. This comes with presets, vocal chain effects, Ableton Live sessions and templates that you can use in your projects as well. And even if you're not using Ableton Live and you're following along, there's a bunch of resources that you want to go ahead and take advantage of. So click the link below in the description box to go ahead and download that right away. So let's focus in on the main melody riff. Now, for this, I'm not going to start with a buzzy type sound because as I listen to the reference, it's got a bell-ish type of tone, very dull, smooth, and there's a little bit of some noise on there as well to give it a vintage feel. So to recreate that, let's start with having an oscillator set to a sine wave. Now, I'm going to be using Vital as the synth to do this so that you guys can follow along. This is a free synth. It's amazing. And if you're not following along using Ableton Live, you can still recreate the same type of sound using Vital. Download it, use it in whichever DAW that you're following along with. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual riff. Now, as I mentioned, that's going to be really buzzy. So let's switch that oscillator over to basic shapes and we start off with a sine wave. Now, as I noticed that the actual reference is slightly out of tune, so I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to slightly detune right over here. Add a little bit of unison, so just 3 voices, and bring the percentage down. Just slightly there. And what's really going to help shape this is the actual envelope. So we're going to get over here. We're going to just give a little bit of a tack so it's not just so abrasive when it starts. And then lower the decay and the sustain. Actually, let's open up the decay and lower the sustain and give a little bit more release so that by the time every note stops playing, you have a little bit of a tail. That's great. And now let's go ahead and make sure this is being sent to filter 1, turn on filter 1 here as well, so that we can just give a little bit of filter drive and shape the filter with this. Now I also want to add some of that white noise that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to hit the sample mode. We have the white noise enabled, and let's bring this down. And let's just follow the actual key tracking here, the keyboard. We'll take leave the loop on and make sure this gets routed to filter 2 so we can have a little bit more control with the actual balance and the blend of that sound. Now we're going to add some effects to give it dimension and space. So I'm going to start with the chorus. This is going to help with shaping the overall tone. And let's go ahead and bring the mix down and then work our way up. So I need to go back here. Let's lower the level of that the white noise for right now. Bring the effects in. And now let's add a little bit of delay as well. So we'll go over here to the delay module, turn that on. It's cool. Now let's try a ping pong. This is going to send those delayed signals back and forth to the left and right speaker. So I'd lower a little bit of the chorus and just balance a little bit of that mix there. So I like the chorus and the delay. It's a great place to start. And we can bring a little bit more of that white noise back into the picture here. Next, I'm going to be duplicating that same vital instrument into another track here for the purpose of just accenting certain notes that will be played a whole octave higher. And so it's the same sound that we have here, minus the white noise. We're here at basic shapes. Actually doing a little bit less detuning, so you get more of that chorusy effect. And same exact parameters that we have from our first one. Same chorus and same delay settings. So literally just duplicated that, and now let's listen to the two together. So now let's group these two sounds together by holding Command G, and we're going to place a reverb directly onto these grouped instruments. So I'm going to go to my audio effects here, and we'll use our hybrid reverb, but any reverb that you have will do just fine. And let's just balance this out. This is what's going to give a lot of that space and dimension. And let's increase the decay a little bit. I actually activate this vintage mode, that would set it to subtle, and widen up the stereo imaging just a little bit, and just play around with the dry and wet. All right, now for the bass line, we're also going to be using Vital. I'm going to be using this all across the board so that you can follow along. And so I'll start with a sawtooth for the bass. And turning oscillator 2 on will give me the ability to layer this, but let's go a whole octave lower, meaning -12 semitones. But now let's go ahead and bring the volume of this down and enable our filter. Both of these are going to be routed to filter 1. Okay, now we'll go to our effects, and let's go ahead and add some distortion here. Soft clipping, bring the drive up, and just play it by ear. So I might want to get a little bit more of that lower octave. Yeah, just blending the two. If I want just a little less of that first higher octave. And now let's go ahead and listen to that with the main riff. Now I want to have and create a Lush pad that's just kind of lingering in the back that helps kind of glue things together. And so to do that, we're also going to be using another Vital. And we're going to have our first two oscillators set to a sawtooth, one at the normal pitch and one a whole octave higher. And so both of these will be running to a filter 1. Making sure that we detune oscillator 1 up and detuning oscillator 2 up. And I'm also using the unison set to 3 voices here and just winding up oscillator 1. This helps create that nice chorusy type of effect. And we also are using our chorus effect here, giving a lot of that, and a reverb effect right after that chorus. Now we need to shape our envelope here, so we're going to have a nice swell. It's not going to be an immediate attack. So we'll just increase that here, sustain, and open the release up a little bit. Now I also want to create a nice droney type pad on top of that one, and this adds really nice texture. And I'm going to show you a really cool trick and how to accomplish this. So let's go ahead and duplicate that main Vital melody. And that's this one here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this one out of the group. It's going to be a separate track. Just click and drag that out. And then what we're going to do is then go to our audio effects and place a regular stock reverb on there. And if you're not following along using Ableton, any reverb that has a freeze function will do just fine. And so what we're going to do here is play this, but then enable freeze at a certain point to create this nice, cool atmospheric drone. So notice that I had to turn up the dry and wet knob. So you want a little bit of that dry and wet. Find a cool moment, usually when a lot of the notes are overlapping with the delay and things like that. Hit the freeze button and then go ahead and turn the wet all the way to 100%. Then we'll print that into audio and have that continuously looping. That's going to be a really cool droney type of atmospheric effect. So let's try that again. Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. So I'm going to create an audio track here. I'm going to set the input here to resampling, enable that track, bring the volume up of this, and just simply record. So now I can go into this and hit the freeze. We can get rid of this track here. And here is that drone that we just created and recorded back into this audio track. So we'll have that playing in the background. And now to give it more of that vintage lo-fi type of vibe, I'm just going to group all the elements together into one bus, to one group here. And we'll place a cassette plugin here by Wave Factory, or any lo-fi plugin that you might have will do just fine. And this just gives that nice texture to the overall mix. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was encouraging and inspiring in any way. And as my gift to you for watching this video, I'd love to send you access to a lot of the breakdown video sessions that I do on this channel, where I take popular songs, break them down, and I create Ableton Live sessions that you can go ahead and use and follow along. Crazy amount of sounds in there, a free sample pack, and a VST instrument that you can use in your projects. It's VST3 and audio unit compatible. It's called Orbit. I love using this on my projects, creating a lot of cool droney soundscapes. So if you want to go ahead and access this, click the link below in the description box or visit beatacademy.com/pack to go ahead and access free gift, absolutely yours free. Just click the link below to access. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let your friends know what's going on this Beat Academy channel by sharing this video. I'll see you next time.